Hi everyone, today is World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day, and so I thought I'd put up a video. It's June 1st and I thought I would explain something that I don't see very often and that I get asked very often as well. And so I'm going to talk about first narcissism and what is healthy narcissism and when it turns pathological and what is NPD and what is narcissistic and all those terms, and because I see there's some confusion. And also I'm going to talk about abuse, what constitutes narcissistic abuse. Normal narcissism has to do with a sense of self-worth, self-entitlement, normal self-entitlement, self-preservation, legal rights, human rights, things that you have a right to do. For example, agency. You have the right to do things on your own. You have it refers to how you perceive yourself and the right that you have to do things for yourself, and that ties along with taking care of yourself. You have control of your emotions, your feelings, and you have a sense of self-esteem that is regulated. Your feelings are regulated, your thoughts are regulated, and you know that you have the right to embark on things and do things for yourself. And this sense of agency, normal self-esteem, normal self-worth, that is normal narcissism, and we all have narcissism, we all do. And the thing is, it ranges, right? And it can range from pathological to normal. And normal psychology calls normal something which is a range of normalcy. That meaning it could be, you know, some people have more, some people have less. When it becomes pathological is when you need to harm others, when you manipulate others, when people that are highly narcissistic, they need to regulate their own self-worth, their own feelings, their own self-esteem. They need to regulate it through attacking others and through making others suffer, through manipulating others. And that's pathological narcissism. And so narcissistic abuse happens to a person that is well-intended, that is maybe sometimes naive, not necessarily. People that are completely healthy, normal, they don't have anything, they are just good people, can be caught in this as well. So in these abusive cycles, because narcissistic abuse happens in cycles. It starts with love bombing, when everything is sudden and the abuser sees the victim as ideal. They idealize that person and they sort of transform into what the abused person wants to see in the other, right? So they transform into that, and then once they have secured that person, they will start manipulating and gaslighting and making them suffer through techniques of manipulation. That's how they get their supply. The supply that narcissistic supply is the attention that they need from you. And so everything is self-referencing for them. So they want you as a victim to be, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they want you to be there for them all the time. Nothing is enough. Everything that you do, never enough. Highly narcissistic people, NPD, which is narcissistic personality disorder, which is the diagnosis, which is explained in the DSM, and you have different things like grandiosity, problems with empathy, problems with self-regulation and self-esteem. You see this grandiose person, self-enhanced person, but in reality we know that grandiosity comes with a very low part, which is a low self-esteem. And so this vulnerability is what the narcissist needs to constantly regulate, because they can go very low, and so they need that from other people. They take that from other people by making you feel less than them, by devaluing you, by making you see that projecting their own problems and flaws onto you. They use projection a lot. That's why they make you feel guilty of everything. It's your fault. When you feel that with a person, like everything you do, everything that happens is your fault, and everything you do is not enough to make them feel well, and you're constantly worried and preoccupied that you may hurt that person, because highly narcissistic people tend to victimize themselves. The abuse is invisible, so you don't see it. It's not like you have a black eye and everybody will know that you've been abused. No, that's what makes this thing so tricky, and that's why I'm making this video, so that you can please share this video with somebody that needs it and that needs to learn this. The hashtag for World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day is "If my wounds were visible," meaning that it's invisible. This thing that is terrible, that happens in all around the world, is invisible. So what we need to do is learn to identify the red flags, learn to know that the behaviors of these disorder personalities. And so, because they are not necessarily people that, you know, they can be very charming. You can see them, maybe they don't have an N stamped here, so you don't see it. It could be your neighbor, your friend, you know. So it all comes back to you. The way to see if somebody is being abusive is to see how you feel when you're in contact with that person. If that person doesn't feel right, you feel like you are you after the interaction with this person, you feel like you are not enough, that you are defective, that you need to do more for them, but you know exactly what. But they told me something good, but then I feel awful, because they are masters at backhanded compliments. So they will say something, and in the moment you say, "Oh yeah, he said," but why do I feel so bad about? I feel awful. What's wrong? You know, it's very invisible. So by knowing that there are people like that, and they have potentially the power to make people sick, physically sick, because people start to lose their immune system defenses. They can develop CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and the chemicals in the brain actually is proven by science, proved it, that parts of the brain shrink so that your emotions are confused, your short-term memory is affected as well. And luckily this can be rebuilt through neuroplasticity. We know that through yoga you can help that, with mindfulness, by going to therapy with people that specialize on trauma, that know how to help you overcome that learned helplessness that the narcissist made you feel, that will guide you through this terrible it's sort of an addiction chemically in the brain to this positive and negative, you know, reinforcement constantly. Because abuse, it's invisible, because while they can appear to be doing good things, my clients and people in the comments always say, but they were good to them in some sense. Also, they will be gaslighted by friends and family, or maybe their lawyers, where they say, yes, but you had a good life, you know. And that good life is so apparent because intermittent reinforcement, they say good things and bad things, and they will gaslight you, they will abuse you by manipulating you into believing that you are doing things wrong. They will devalue you constantly while they do some good things. You know, it's very tricky, and it's invisible, because they will mix and match these different tactics and techniques where they will maybe help you in a way, but then they will say something that is, for example, a backhanded compliment, or they will insist on you doing some things for them, or they even go to the extent of ignoring you completely or devaluing you in that way. So it's very complicated. That's why I have this channel dedicated to that, where you have a lot of different videos that go specifically to each maybe technique, or to how to get over a traumatic bond, and because it's a very complex situation and the abuse is very, very extreme. The physical health of a person, of a victim, can be changed and can be diminished, can be completely demolished. Okay, so, and it's hard to get out of this traumatic bond. So that's all I'm going to say for this video. I just wanted to, if you want, help me raise awareness about narcissistic abuse and what it is, please share this video and give it a like so that we can reach more people. And I will link the page, the World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness page, where you can see the links, and you can listen until June 2nd, all the audios and all that where professionals and people are discussing this same very subject. So I will also link all my links, my website. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, for sharing the video, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.